Okay, guys, are you ready for this one? I got myself a costume upgrade. Ha! Oh yeah, I'm the crawler, guys and gals. Woohoo! In all seriousness, I really love Koichi's character from Vigilantes. I just love his look and the crawler thing. It's awesome. I think I'm gonna wear this at the next con I go to. But that's not why you're here. Oh no. You're here for me to talk about some contest I did like a month ago or something. Are you here for that? We can just talk if you want. How about some tea? Do you want some tea? I have tea. It's just for me, but I have it. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my clipboard of awesomeness. Alright. So, this was an ordeal. I started this contest, and I remembered saying, like, oh, well, because I'm doing video-only entries, I'm obviously going to get less than what we get usually. And I was right about that, but it was still a lot. It was around 140 entries that we ended up getting. I say we, it's I'm the only person that went through it. And yeah, that's another thing, too. A lot of times when I do these contests, like with the Green Bull contest, I obviously had Joy Boy and Roger Space to help me out. A few other contests that I've done in the past that I got, like, a huge influx of entries, I asked some people that I trusted and, you know, people I'd known for years to, like, you know, help me out and just look over the entries and stuff. But this one I handled entirely by myself. I watched over 140 entries that were submitted. Sometimes they were submitted just over YouTube, the hashtag. Others were sent to my email. I appreciate every single one of you. For every single person that either just turned on their, you know, phone camera and just talked about their opinion on who they thought was the traitor, or if someone that went out and did a skit, that obviously some were more elaborate than others. But all of you, you participated in my madness, and I have to just thank every single one of you for that right now. Like I said, the whole reason I did this was because I was inspired a long time ago to when Spoonie did his, like, fight grass video. I thought, like, oh, that's awesome. That's something fun that me and my friends can do on the weekend, and we were in high school, and it was just this really stupid thing. But I had a lot of fun doing it, you know, so that was cool. All right, so with that being said, though, of course, out of 140-something entries, there could only be 5 winners, which we have today. There's also a few honorable mentions that I'm going to mention as well. But for right now, let's just go through the top 5, and then we'll do the honorable mentions at the end. Yeah, let's just do it like that. Okay, so the 5th place winner comes to us from a guy by the name of White Bear Beppo. I see what you did there, because Beppo is, in fact, a polar bear, which are usually white. So yeah, White Bear Beppo, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play clips of their entries, but I'm not going to play the whole thing. Instead, I'm going to leave links in the description below, because these are obviously all on YouTube. So I would rather them get, you know, the more of the traffic here, so I'll play clips here just to show you what their entries were like, but for the most part, I just want you to click on the links, and if you find one particular entry interesting, or all the entries interesting, go and watch them on their actual channels, you know? So they can get the traffic and all that stuff. So let's look at his entry here. And he actually claimed that Bakugo was the traitor. And I do have a checklist here of all the different people that were claimed to be traitors. Not surprisingly, Toru Hagakure was the #1 pick. I think it was something like, 23, 24 entries had her as the, you know, traitor. Without further ado, 5th place winner, White Bear Beppo, take it away.
The obvious answers are Toru Hagakure or Denki Kaminari, but those are for the unwoke. Me? I'm woke. That's my quirk. Woke.
Bruh.
The ability...
I'm sorry. It's just, I've had to watch these entries a lot of times, obviously, when I'm deciding on them, and every single freaking time I watch this one, I crack up right at that spot, where it's like, my quirk is woke, bro. I'm like... No. Okay, Gabe, just go. I'm gonna be chuckling here for a while.
Now here's an unbiased and totally 100% infallible evidence that will blow your mind. Bakugo is Enji's bastard son.
NANI?
Do you really think this sorry excuse of a dad is Bakugo's father? But he's actually just a stress relieving tool for sexual purposes because Enji left her. So we're now at USJ, and you may be saying to yourself that Bakugo did a lot of things that contradicts his cooperation with the League of Villains. But you have to understand that Bakugo is smart. At first glance, you think Bakugo is this typical bully who's an idiot, but he's academically intelligent and extremely crafty. Whatever Bakugo does that's contradictory, it's actually just a front to trick you all. Why is it that Bakugo didn't use a fuck-off explosion when he was getting dragged into the portal? It's because he didn't want to damage the League of Villain members, and he wanted to get caught. He wanted to test if Deku is any threat towards the #1 position, and intends to drag Deku down as much as possible until Endeavor retires. Currently, there is no active traitor in the UA student body. Bakugo never fully aligned himself with the League of Villains. They both only had one goal in common: to dethrone All Might.
Right, so that was obviously an entry that did not have video footage, and I specified you didn't need to have that, because I understand not everybody's comfortable with having their face shown and stuff, and it's fine if you just want to do audio only, just you have to throw something up on the screen for me to watch. I think that guy did a pretty good job of it, so congratulations there, White Bear Beppo, and you will receive the $20 Amazon gift card. Moving on to 4th place, this is a fun one. Okay, so this one was done in the style of a skit. There were many of these I received that were like they opened up with a skit and then they, followed it up with their actual reasoning and all that stuff there. Oh, and by the way, while I'm on the subject of that, it seems like a lot of you people out there decided to take advantage of my love of large, luscious anime boobs. And you would, mention breasts at the beginning of the video or show me images of that in the emails. And all I have to say about that is thank you very much for giving me fat material for the next couple of weeks. You guys are great. You know me to a T. The 4th prize winner comes to us from a channel by the name of Astro Black Planet. All right, and this dude was pretty cool. He, you know what? I'm just going to let him explain it, the style, the way he opened this up. So go, take it away.
My name is Astro Blackman, interdimensional space-time traveler extraordinaire and alumni of UA High School. My time as the hero Excelsior wouldn't have been as good as it was if I hadn't gone to the extraordinary school UA. But when I found out from Tekking that my alma mater was under siege of a traitor, I couldn't let that slide. I had to go back to Universe 1AB and figure out who it was.
Present Mike is the traitor!
Alright, before I even get into anything, before even that, let me go through the wardrobe change. I gotta be a detective. Okay, this is a straw fedora, a rain jacket, and a Gryffindor scarf. It'll do, okay. Doesn't it just seem a little weird that he's so dead set on this idea of there being a traitor? He even tries to blame it on one of the students, like, oh, I guess one of the students could have sold this out, like, oh, let me make them think there's a traitor when I am in fact the mole. I am in fact the one who's actually inciting all of the chaos from within, but I'm gonna make them think that it's someone else, and that's exactly what a spy would want.
I don't know, Present Mike, you're looking a little suspicious, my friend.
Now, just with the evidence that I've laid out here, I think that's enough to condemn him, but there's boatloads more. I mean, I could talk about all the stuff I found out when I was tracking him. I could tell you about how he manipulated Toru to make it look like she was the traitor. I could tell you about his fiendish attempt to take out the 2 students with quirks that could possibly find out what that he was doing, how he was actually the traitor. But the fact of it is, I don't even really need to lay out all that. But, just because you've been so nice, I will. That's weird. I thought this was a pretty sound theory. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I really love about that one, there's a few things. Number one, sick skateboarding skills, but beyond that, I could tell that this person actually came up with a superhero design before the contest. I believe his name was Excelsior. Okay, so cool name, right? Excelsior, because he could fly and skateboard and stuff. He's fast. So that was pretty cool. And he has like this opening monologue where he's like, or inner monologue where he's like skateboarding, and he's like, he's an alumni of UA, and he's discovered that there is a traitor in the midst of UA, and he has to go back to his school and discover the traitor. And I thought that was really cool. And he of course accuses Present Mike of being the traitor, who is a teacher. And I also stated as long as they have a connection to the school in some way or form, you can accuse them, so it doesn't have to be a student. But I also really commend the dude for what it looks like to me. He was in high school currently, or maybe in college, or maybe he, like the way he stated in the video, maybe he did go back to his high school. I don't know, but he's clearly in a high school. And he goes and he sits in an empty classroom, and he, you know, films the video, and he's in his regular clothes, and he puts on his hero outfit, and he does the whole video like that. Man, let me tell you something, okay? That would have been something that wouldn't have been impossible for me to do in high school. Like, I could have, like, when I was in high school, if I would have went up to a teacher or something and said, hey, can I use this room to film a video in? You know, I knew a lot of teachers in high school. I was a relatively good student and everything, so they probably would have agreed to let me do that. But let me tell you, I was such a introvert and socially awkward and just shy, meek person in high school. Like, seriously, like, the person I was in high school is very different from where I am now. I have to thank YouTube for that, really. I kind of came out of my shell with that. But I would never have had, you know, I would have never had enough, like, confidence in myself to, like, wear an outfit like that, sit in a classroom and film a YouTube video, because I would have known that if anyone would have walked by the room and saw me dressed like that, I would not hear about it. I would hear about it until, like, the end of my school career. So I kind of had to commend the dude for just doing that alone. If he really is just a high school student that did that, that was great. And his video was done in a really good style as well. So fourth prize to Astro Black Planet. Way to go, man. You will also receive a $20 Amazon gift card. All right, moving on to the third place slot. This is another one that was audio only, and another one that made me chuckle quite a bit every single time I queued it up. This is coming to us from a guy by the name of Warm Potato. Or is it Warm Potato? Warm Potato? Warm Potato? He accuses Aizawa of being the traitor.
Aizawa is the traitor. Also possibly Midnight. I'm not sure, but Aizawa is definitely the traitor.
Okay. Okay, keep going, keep going.
Now, we all know the normal story. Deku meets All Might during his last year of middle school and trains with All Might for 10 months to prepare for the UA entrance exam. When All Might first joins UA High School, Midnight and Aizawa were already teachers there. We know that because All Might says,
I read your file. Last year, you expelled an entire class of freshman students.
And the two of them were hired at the same time, so we know Midnight and Aizawa have taught for at least 1 year. Then, they hired All Might the same year that Deku entered high school. What are the odds the school would need to replace 3 teachers in a row so quickly? A homeroom teacher, an art history teacher, and a hero training course teacher. What happened to the last 3? Now you may be wondering, how do we know that Midnight and Aizawa were hired at the same time? My Hero Academia Vigilantes. We see him stopping an assault from happening, then fighting Knuckle Duster. He's a character in My Hero Academia Vigilantes. He's just a guy with metal knuckles that punches things. He has no quirk. Throughout this fight, we learn a couple things. First, Aizawa does not believe in chasing down vigilantes. Aizawa actually let a vigilante go. So Aizawa thinks Hero Society is flawed and vigilantes are not the real issue. The plot thickens. So I think it's safe to say we may be looking at a One Piece scenario here where the characters in the story have superhuman abilities regardless of their quirks. And if that is the case, we have already seen a quirkless man held his own while fighting Eraserhead. This is canon. To everyone who read the manga, remember what Aizawa said about heroes like him. Quote, after one too many beatings from villains, they realize they're hitting their limit and they disappear without a word. That'll be me someday. So Aizawa has already made crystal clear he does not want to be a hero forever. There's giant eels over there, shape-shifting invisible girls over there. He's already thinking about disappearing without a word. And remember, Aizawa thinks vigilantes are not a real problem, and that hero society and the celebrity of it all is just wrong. If anyone is working with villains, if anyone has the motive, it's Aizawa.
Right, so that was pretty cool, not only just because of the vigilante references he makes, which I think we've already established, you know, I'm certainly a fan of, But yeah, he brings that up, and like Midnight's relationship to Aizawa in Vigilantes, and like, oh, by the way, boobs. So, but also like, hey, in one of the earlier chapters of Vigilantes, you know, Aizawa comes in contact with a known vigilante, and he doesn't arrest him. Now he does say like, oh, it's my day off, but at the end of the day, it's still a vigilante. Even though Aizawa's like, oh well, it doesn't seem to be like that bad of a guy. Still a vigilante. Little weird. You could just chalk that up to his lackadaisical personality, or something greater. See, that's the thing. Once again, like many of you, if you are watching these, you might think like, oh, that's not a really good enough reason for him to be a traitor. Despite this actually being called the UA investigation, like trying to find the traitor, it wasn't all about like, okay, here's an ironclad thing I have about finding the traitor. Okay, it was more about like having fun, filming a video, talking about your theories. It wasn't like about like, because there's people on here that accused like Izuku Shu of being the traitor. Obviously not meant to be taken 100% seriously. And by the way, they did that because in one of the popularity polls, Izuku Shu was actually voted for. One for All got a vote, not Izuku or All Might, but literally the quirk One for All was voted for. Tetsu got 2 votes. Momo got 1. So just like All Might actually got a few. So yeah, there's a lot of people that got votes for this, but it wasn't always about like, oh, this is definitely the traitor. It makes perfect sense. There's others that were a little bit more out there. Aizawa actually remarkably shows up twice on the top 5. So yeah, there's another person in the top 5 that actually accused Aizawa. But anyway, so now thank you, Warm Potato, for your entry. And now moving on to the top 2. Oh, and Warm Potato, you will be receiving your $50 Amazon gift card. So now going on to number 2, this one comes to us from L. Yeah, that's right, L, literally L, just that's the channel name, L. This person also, just because geography is everything, and I'm a big fan of flags, like the flags of various nations. When I was a kid, I actually was like making a bunch of like little miniature cardboard versions of flags from around the world. You could probably tell why I wasn't very popular in school very much. But no, in this video, you actually see the flag for Antigua and Barbuda in the background, which is a country located in, I think, the West Indies, around the Caribbean. So I'm like, oh, that's where this person's from. That's cool. Anyway, here you go. He also does a skit at the beginning, which is, I must say, very good videography with this. So go right ahead.
Alright, what's going on everyone? L here, and today I'm going to be joining Tekking101's UA investigation contest. Now before my video officially starts, I just want to let you guys know that one of the rules state that I have to say who I think the traitor is within 1 minute of the video. Now after doing my intro, I recognized that a minute had already passed. So I decided to use this forum to let you know that I think Uraraka is the traitor. Yeah, Uraraka. Now before, you guys get all mob and, go and light your torches and get your pitchforks on me, just, calm down and, enjoy the intro, and then I'll let you guys know as the video progresses why I think Uraraka is the traitor. Alright, bye guys. Come in. Good day, sir. Good day, sir. So what do I owe this visit? You know that I'm quite busy with the Kiwi investigation.
I know, man. I'm terribly sorry, sir, but I have urgent news.
Alright. Tell me, what is this urgent information?
Well, you see, we received a call from Tekking101, and...
Did you just say Tekking101?
Yes, the Tekking101. Apparently there's a traitor UA and he needs help to find out who that is.
I see. Do you have a file on him?
Yes, sir. I have it right here.
Thank you.
This is really urgent. Betty, call off the Kira investigation. We got a traitor to catch. Thank you. You may leave. Yes, sir. Thanks a lot. Yo, look, that's the first time I've ever done anything like that. I'm telling you, it's the very first time. I have no experience. That was, it was super fun. Super fun. That's why I couldn't dare cut it. I couldn't. And it's not the best in the world, I know, but you understand, just the fact that I did it, it make me feel a certain way. So Tekking, thanks a lot for giving, me the opportunity to do something like that. Alright, so anyways, as I said earlier inside of the video, I think Uraraka, I think she's a traitor. Right? Now, I know a lot of people would disagree. I know, she wouldn't be the first person that comes to someone's mind. But that's why. That's why. To me, I'm looking at it from a storytelling point of view. Right? So I asked myself, L, if I am writing a story, right? What characteristics would I give a traitor? Right, so then I said, okay, I created a little scenario. So I said, if I have 3 characters, let's call them A, B, and C, right? And I want A to be the traitor, right? I would do everything in my power to make A seem as innocent as possible. She interacts with Izuku and how she allows her feelings with Izuku, to affect her, personally. And I believe all these things are authentic. I believe that they are genuine. Right, I just believe that there's a little conflict going on inside of her. Or maybe she has a split personality. I don't know. I really don't. But I'm just looking at it from a writer's perspective, and I'm just looking at it as how her being the traitor would affect the other classmates. So, I mean, those are my thoughts. That's what I think. That's what I hope as a fan. I'm not saying that that's the case. I do not know. I honestly don't know. But I mean, I think of all the classmates inside of 1A, she would, create the best angle for the story to go.
So that was really neat. I love the opening shot, the skit. That really kind of just cinched it for me. Something else, though, I should mention, and this is actually something that the number 2 and the number 1 spot both have in common, and I think I know what happened here. One of the stipulations, one of the rules I set, was that in the first minute of the video, you have to tell me who you're accusing. This was mostly for brevity's sake, because I had to review 140 plus of these, and I just wanted to get it out of the way really quick. Just like let me know in the first minute who you're accusing, so you can move the train along, right? So what I think happened with these two, the second position and the first position, the first place and the second place winners. So what I think happened with the second and first place winners is that they both do skits, and they got really into the skit, and then when they were editing, they realized that, oh wait, I didn't get to actually explaining the who's the traitor until like after the minute mark. So they went back in and filmed like a part at the beginning. So they come in at the very beginning and they're like, hey, just letting you know I'm accusing so-and-so. And hey, once again, as long as the final product was uploaded before the date that I set, the 20th, and as long as, hey, you're still saying it at the beginning, so I'm fine with it. Once again, that was mostly a rule just for brevity's sake. It wasn't like, you have to, the first time you film the video, it has to be said. I didn't say that. I just said you have to let it be known in the first minute, and these two people certainly did. So thanks to L. I love that. I love that his name's L, and I love that line in the video when he walks into the office, and he's just like, oh, we'll have to hold the Kira investigation. This is some serious stuff right here. I love that. Some reverse angle things going on there, the black and white, the noir thing in the office. Really cool, really cool. I could tell, I think from what he said, this is like the first time he really did this kind of stuff, so good job, L, and you will be receiving the $100 Amazon gift card. So now, moving on to the first place, the grand prize, so to speak. I can't just say first place, that's weak. It's grand prize. Comes to us from a channel by the name of 2DX Life. I don't know if it's like Hunter x Hunter where you're supposed to say the X. I mean, we're not supposed to say the X, or if it's like multiplication, like 2D multiplied by life. So, oh, I get it. Okay, that's cool. That's clever. Okay. I don't get it. But anyway, here, just take it away. This is another one that starts off with, like, them actually explaining who they're accusing, and then they go into a skit. So, I will just let them take it away.
Howdy everyone, hey Tekking. This is my video entry to the UA investigation, and in this video, my friends and I will be accusing none other than Shota Aizawa. I really hope you guys enjoy watching.
Come in.
You called for me, Sergeant Kenji Teriyaki?
Lock the door and have a seat. We have some very crucial information to discuss. Whoa.
What's this about, sir?
Sakazuki, would you like a donut?
I appreciate the offer, but I already ate breakfast, sir.
Suit yourself, man. Sakazuki, what I'm about to tell you is a top secret. Only All Might, the UA principal, and myself know this information. Wolf.
Sir, this wouldn't have to be about the UA traitor, would it?
You're as sharp as ever, Sakazuki.
Sir, this can't be serious. It can't be him.
I'm sorry, Sakazuki, but this is the truth. Now go and get prepared for the Operation Phantom Fury. Wolf.
I'm bringing sexy back.
This is the police. Put your hands where I can see them tomorrow. That goes well for you, Aizawa.
What the hell are you doing? I'm trying to apprehend a criminal.
Shut up! Your lies end here. We have enough evidence to put you away for years because you've been planning villainous things with this criminal right here.
He looks like he caught us. Gonna catch a ride out of here?
Shota Aizawa, pro hero racerhead. You haven't been charged with as much as a parking ticket, but here we find you in the slammer for conspiracy of murder. What do you have to say about that?
No.
But we saw you talking to him about murdering Class 1A. What do you have to say about that?
Probably the same answer that I gave you last time.
Still no?
Yes.
Let's keep going then. Remember the USJ incident? You were there?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay.
I was a pretty badass.
Yeah.
Okay. I've done a lot of contests before, like, okay, obviously, and there's a few entries. Anybody that's also maybe gone through a contest, if you've ever judged a contest, there's certain entries that you get, like, right at the beginning where you can kind of tell, like, this entry is a contender to win it all. This, like, you watch it and, like, within the first 5 minutes or so, you can tell, like, okay, this is definitely a contender for, if not winning the whole thing, being in, like, the top echelon. So this was one of those. The second they walk into the office and the dude's with the dog mask, he's like, come in here, we have something important to talk about. Woof. And he's like, would you like a donut? And I'm like, that was completely unimportant, but it was funny. The scene where he's in his living room, like, you have this many hours, you need to get it done. And we cut to his living room, and he's like, Sexy Back starts playing for some reason. And he pulls out the sword and the magnifying glass. And then the scene itself where they're doing, like, for a while I was watching this, and I was like, this is really good, but when are we gonna get to the point where we get to the actual explanation? Like, the actual, like, what are your reasons, right? I hope he included that in there, and he does. It's at the end. It's like the latter half of the video, where you have him running across Aizawa and Kurogiri, and he has his friends who cosplayed them. Aizawa's really not all that difficult to cosplay. Just get, like, a Tommy Wiseau wig and some scotch tape and, like, the little mask thing in your set. But it actually takes place in, like, an interrogation where they're sitting down with Aizawa, and that is, like, an hilarious moment where he's like, I heard you were at the USJ during the time of the attack, and Aizawa was like, yeah, I was at the USJ, I was pretty big badass, if you know what I mean. You know, so, like, they portray Aizawa as just this super laid-back, sort of, like, stoner-esque character, and I don't know, it works, man, I don't know what to tell you. There were a few things about the video that were, like, criticism I would have is there was the scene with the fight. I thought the audio was a little bit too loud, but then again, that's like when I said I wasn't grading this on your, like, you know, video editing skills. I knew that you weren't gonna, you know, a lot of people doing this would not be, like, masters of editing, but, you know, that's, like, my one criticism, but that is such, like, a nitpick, really, like, because aside from that, it was a great video. I love the opening skit, and, like, with the dog in the office, and then the sexy back scene, and then he's doing like the Pink Panther music, and then you cut to the fight, and then you have just the interrogation where Aizawa was there, like all chill and laid back, and just the comment and how they play off each other. I thought that was great. So yeah, 2D X Life, you will win the grand prize, which I actually talked to him earlier, and he actually opted to do with the cash prize to split it amongst his friends. So I thought that was a really cool idea because it was not just done. We just want one person here. It was multiple people, which once again, I said you could do it in a group. So you'll be receiving the cash prize, the alternate of the PS4, which was $300. So yes, those were the 5 winners of the UA investigation contest. But don't go away quite yet, because I also want to highlight some honorable mentions that we have. So here's just a few clips from some honorable mentions, like the highlights I thought were pretty good. So here you go.
The principal did it.
God damn it. Can't believe I got kicked out of the Avengers again.
So, jumping right in, I'm accusing Ejiro Kirishima of being the traitor. I don't want to believe it. Can I get a tissue? Thank you.
Greetings, Tekking. I've been following the case of UA traitor for months now, and I think I struck the wrong chord with Villains Association. Put a wrench in their plans. Okay, I think they lost me.
Greetings everybody and welcome to Power News. I'm your host Hector Roman, and today we're going to talk about who could be the traitor in UA. It could be a teacher or a student. I believe that is none other than Toru Hagakure.
Right, so once again, congratulations to our 5 winners, and once again, thanks to every single one of you that entered the UA investigation contest. And if you did not enter the contest, if there was, you know, like maybe you didn't like My Hero Academia, you're not caught up with the story, or if you didn't want to do the video entry, not your thing, or you didn't have time to do it, don't fret, because we'll be doing another contest next year, early next year, probably around January, February. That'll be more of a typical contest that we do, the kind of like design your own OC. This one's going to be a design your own devil fruit contest. So I'll look forward to that next year. But for right now, actually, the next big project that I'm going to be focusing on, because I always like to keep busy, we had the Green Bowl contest, then we had the charity drive, then we had this. Next is going to be another charity drive. This one is going to be for the Leukemia Research Foundation, and for right now, the date I have set for that is December 2nd. That's a Saturday, and it's going to be about 8 hours long. That can always change, but I'm pretty sure it's going to remain that date, but you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, so it's going to be like the same format as before. We're going to have some guests coming in, and we'll have videos playing from various YouTubers in the community, so look forward to that. It'll be a Christmas-themed stream also, so that'll be a fun time. Hopefully we can raise a lot of money for LRF, for the Leukemia Research Foundation. But yeah, more updates on that as we get closer to the date. I'll come out with a video and announce everything you need to know about that event. But for right now, I'm going to be getting out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tekking101 signing out. Slide and glide. Shit. It's okay. I'm wearing pads.